Hello and welcome back to Defy Aging. This is week 38 now, and I am Coach Allison to review what we're going to do with you. So this week we do have back to stations on the turf, so you'll be rotating around. We have 3 rounds, and I believe it's 7 exercises. The rest is gonna remain the same, but the work time is gonna change. So we're gonna start round 1 at 40 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest. Round 2 is 30, 30, and then round 3 is 20, 30. So short and sweet for that last round. We do have a little team builder, of course, at the end, finisher. And this week, just FYI, it is a lower body focus. It's not 100% lower body, but probably 75%. So kind of just a little change. It'll give us a chance to kind of rest our shoulders, chest, and back for a week, and arms a little bit. Like I said, there's a little, yeah. But for the most part, lower body focus. So be mentally prepared for that when you jump into your sessions this week. And let's go do some demonstrations. All right, so station 1 is going to be a little bit of shoulders, but primarily balance, hips, stability, because we're going to do some high knees with it as well. So it's a dumbbell overhead high knee. So you got a weight in each hand. We're going to keep those palms turned in towards each other versus forward. So keep them turned in. Try to keep those arms locked in as straight and strong as you can. So we're trying to avoid this and letting them start to bend. So think of keeping your biceps close to your ears. So like here wouldn't be close to my ears. And from here, we're going to do controlled, slow, high knees. So a lot of balance. And that's where focusing on the 2 things at once can get hard. So then if you're focusing on your knees, that's when the arms can kind of start to sink down. So try to, your coach might have to remind you to get those arms up there. But anyway, that overhead high knees, that's station 1. Station 2 is a mini band lateral walk. So probably want to have this station near a bench or a chair to sit for putting the band on, because that can be a little tedious or cumbersome. But we want it just above the knee. Okay, so right above that kneecap. And I don't have a ton of space to show you a ton of reps, but we want to come into a half or quarter squat. So we're not just leaning down like this, walking sideways. You want to maintain kind of, again, that half or quarter squat. And then we're taking lateral steps, but we want to try to keep the head level and not be bopping up and down. So by that, I mean, if I'm in my quarter squat, I'm gliding my leg over, and see how my head is staying level? That means I'm keeping this squat form versus kind of coming up. I'm exaggerating it a little bit, but so we don't want that bopping up and down. Keep that same body position and just try to do that lateral step nice and smooth. So we'll just have whatever space your coach has. When you get to each end, just keep going back and forth. You don't have to worry about switching, halfway or anything, because this one, I don't know if we'll have enough space to have a long enough, it doesn't matter. So just your coach will have a designated space, keep going left and right for the duration of the set. All right, that's our mini band. Okay, take 2, my first one, I forgot to hit record. So we are on to station 3. It's gonna be a half kneel medicine ball slam. All right, so down in that half kneel position, we wanna keep this front leg tracking forward. So in order to do that, we have to take advantage of that little space kind of over here. So you do have to shift just a very subtle quarter shift with your upper body to take advantage of this open space. What we don't want to do is get the leg out of the way by kind of doing this or stepping out, and then therefore being able to do the slam right in front, because that kind of throws this half kneel position out of alignment. We want the leg tracking forward. So keep this front leg forward. Just turn your upper body ever so slightly to take advantage of that open space. All right, so we'll switch the leg positions halfway through each set, so you'll get that even amount of time on each side. So that's one of our main cardios for the week. Next up, we have a sumo RDL, a sumo Romanian deadlift. So the RDLs are our typical deadlift with the feet closer together. We're going to turn that into a sumo variety this week. So you go into your normal sumo stance just like you'd be doing a squat, but it is a deadlift. So we do need, instead of a knee bend, we do a hip hinge. Okay, so from the front, you can't tell much from the front, so I will turn to the side. But it's all the same normal cues with the deadlift as far as the upper body. shoulders down and back. We're not going to round the shoulders forward and in. Keep your back nice and flat and all of that. But I'll turn to the side so you can see the hip positioning and the hinge itself. So we got that, again, that wide stance. You're going to be really tempted to go into a squat because that's what we normally do in the sumo position. So try to avoid that urge. And we pop the hips back and let the kettlebell drop straight down. So it's not leaning forward like this. The hips do have to go back, and that's what creates the hinge in the hips. So all that together, it'll look like this, keeping that back nice and flat. Notice how far back I'm pushing my hips. You'll get a lot of stretch in your hamstring. That's a good thing. That's what we want. You might get some stretch, like kind of in that inner thigh. Little variety for our deadlifts this week. So that's station 4. All right, next station is a ball wall squat. All right, we've done these quite a few times over the years. Got our stability ball. Going to place it low, kind of on your butt, maybe your tailbone. Okay, we don't want to place it too high because then it doesn't have room to roll up the spine. Step your feet forward a good distance. See how much my feet are out in front of me. And from here, we go into a squat. But you keep your back a lot against the ball the whole time. So what we don't do is kind of come forward from the ball like this. So keep your spine along the ball at all times. That's keeping you upright really well. It actually feels kind of nice on your back. So there's a bonus or, a perk. But yeah, there you go. If your feet are too far back, what's going to happen is the squat's going to look like this with your knees pushed way too far forward. First of all, it's really, really hard. But second of all, it's too much pressure on the knees when we do this. We never want the knees to stick out that far forward over the toes. So that's why you do start with your feet more forward. So yeah, pretty straightforward there. Give it a try. And that's our ball squat. All right, we are going to get some core this week. So we're going to do a plank hip twist. It's been a while since we've done these. This is the one, if anyone recalls, where your feet will kind of crawl back a little bit. So every few reps, you have to sort of reposition your feet. So it's a little irritating in that respect. There is not a knee version of this plank. So if a full toe plank isn't something where you are at right now, we'll come up to an incline and do it on an incline. Because you can't do this on the knees, it just doesn't work. But you're in your normal forearm plank, hips are level. So again, looking out for this. And then we twist. It's like you're trying to aim, see how close you can aim your hip bone towards the floor, but don't sink down and touch, just twist. But kind of watch my feet. They're kind of crawling away from me. So every couple reps, I have to sort of step them back in. So what this twist does is instead of just getting our abs, it starts to incorporate those obliques, which isn't normally part of a regular plank. So yeah, give that one a try. Same thing on an incline. Might want something with a softer surface for the elbows as opposed to those red boxes, but it works just the same with an incline to do that twist. Again, not really a knee. I've tried it on the knees. It just doesn't work. You can only twist like this much. So no knee version for the plank this week. And another lower body one. Back to that, we've got our elevated hip thrust or glute thrust. So we're going to just have our heels up on a box or a bench. So we want to put the heels on the actual surface of whatever you're using, not on the edge like this. So dig your heels down. Keep your feet relatively flexed when we're doing this as opposed to pointed. So flex your feet. We do want a 90-degree bend in the knees to start. So if you're way up here and your legs are pretty straight, scoot it on in. Okay, all that said, you can rest your head down and we lift. Dig those heels down. Don't push the heels forward because they're going to slide, but dig your heels down. Try to get as high as you can. If you're able to get like a flush line from your knee to your chest, that's a really good height. We're trying to avoid kind of little ones like this that doesn't fully activate our glutes and our hamstrings. So really get those hips up high. Yeah, perfect. Now, for an alternative for it not being on the floor, typically I would go into a deadlift for an alternative, but we did already do deadlifts. So I'm thinking we're going to do a step up with a slow release or negative, slow way down. That's really going to help to get the glutes as well. It's different, but the way that looks is come up, and then you just go, you have to do a lot of forward lean because you're trying to resist as much as you can on the way down and take that way down super, super slow. Keep your weight in your heel, and that's going to help get the glute muscle. So we'll do halfway, we'll switch legs halfway through, so keep the same side for the first half. But again, super, super slow coming down, pop right back up, super, super slow. And if you're doing that slow enough with enough kind of forward lean, you should really be able to feel that glute. So it's the same, it's not an alternative as far as being a similar movement, but it is the same muscle target. So that'll be the alternative. Okay, and our finisher this week, it's a finisher, more of a team builder because you're going to be working independently. So a squat complex. So we're going to do 5 sumo squats, 5 narrow squats, and then 5 jump squats. And we're going to run through that 2 times. So I know we had sumo deadlifts in the routine, but now we're doing a sumo squat. So that wide stance with the toes angled slightly outward. Keep the knees tracking out as you go into your squat so that they don't cave down like this. And that's our sumo squat, 5 of those. Narrow squats is feet together. And when you go into your narrow squat, it takes a lot of focus because you have to keep the legs squeezed in, like consciously, because they're going to want to bow out like this. So don't let that happen. Use the muscles in your inner thighs and your hips to keep those knees and legs together. And then jump squats. I know we had jump squats last week in our routine. They are going to be in our finisher this week, but now we're at a normal squat stance. So we did the wide, we did the narrow, now we're normal. And come up with that jump. Make sure when you're doing these though, each time you go down, it is a true squat. And we don't kind of revert to just kind of a jump and then a lean. So it is easy to do that when we're tired and our legs are tired and sore. And but that's not great though. It's not great on your back, and it's a lot of bopping up and down with the head. So maybe any blood pressure issues, it's not great. So keep that good squat form while you're doing your jumps. Run through that 2 times, and that's our finisher. There we have it. That's week 38. So again, lower body focus. So you might have some stiff or hopefully lightly sore lower body muscles, your thighs, your hamstrings, your glutes, because we are hitting them a little more than usual this week. So hope you enjoy it. We'll see you back next week.